I want people to be proud of this show, for years to come. I feel like this is our love letter to the culture. This is our love letter to Black women. This is our love letter to Black men. This is our love letter to the culture. This is our love letter to humanity in general. Like Thomas said, the elements on this show um, are universal elements, universal themes that we all go through.
Coming live on your radio. What they want? That real and raw. How they get it? DJ Focus. What we doing? Making music, reaching the corner, and it's all for the kingdom. And we gon' make sure they know it. Ooh, 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 ooh. We gon' take it there. I like red letters over trap beats to fix it. Saying, ooh. DJ Focus, tell him turn you up. Ooh. DJ Focus, tell him turn you up. Ooh.
Welcome back, DJ Focus, Dice Gamble. You tap back into the Fixx, your source of faith-infused hip-hop, R&B, and poetry. It's time for our spiritual detox, and we got a special one for y'all today. We talk about, everybody know, our Fixx family know, we love series. We love watching good sitcoms, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I was sleeping, so I'm gonna let y'all know how that pillow feel because I done got caught up now. It's a hit sitcom show out right now on Bounce that speak to, brothers, coming together. And like, when I tell you real transparency stories of like what real brothers go through, oh, I'm all the way lit, man. I'm all the way tuned into this thing. And I got, two of the main characters, the person that put this together, that wrote this thing, as well as the lead actor on right now, Deji, LaRay, as well as Thomas Jones. What's going on, brothers?
Good. How you doing? Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Excited to be here.
Man, I'm excited to have y'all on, and I'm serious when I say, this thing, I don't know why everybody ain't talking about it. So let's be very clear. I know we going into season 4, but I feel like this ain't been pumped out enough. Shouts out to Bounce TV for having y'all. This y'all, man, this is a movement. So first, come on, talk about it. Deji, you created this thing, you wrote this thing. Take us back to when you first penned this thing on paper. What was your thoughts? What did you want to bring out? How much of you is in this?
Man, first of all, man, thanks for that introduction, man. That's great. That's exactly how we describe the show. And I do feel like, our audience is growing on this show. I think that we see a lot of engagement, Thomas and I, all the cast, they're always the audience is always hitting us up. The love runs deep. I think that's the thing, just going back to your earlier statement about it not being pumped out enough. I think the key thing about this show is that it makes an emotional connection with viewers. So while there may not be sort of the amount of dollars kind of spent on promo as like other shows in general, I think the people who love the show deeply love the show, and they care about these characters because these characters are so familiar to them. So we have very diehard fans on this show, and we see it as very evident. So the engagement is very high on social media, man. So very excited about season 4, and just going back to just putting this thing together, man. I just wanted to create a show that represented you, a show that represented me, a show that represented, the vast majority of Black men that I came in contact with, because I would see representation on TV and I wouldn't recognize, how we were portrayed. I know oftentimes it felt like entertainment. It felt like, very salacious, or sort of, using Black men and Black women at times. Both sides haven't been represented correctly historically. I think Black women have really taken a charge in controlling their narrative and creating stories and images in the way that they want to be seen. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do the same thing, something that we can be proud of, something that represents both Black men and Black women in a positive light, something that, that shows Black love, something that shows emotionally intelligent Black men, vulnerable Black men, Black men who have good intentions and they're just trying to progress in life, who love their families, who's taking care of their kids, just dispelling a lot of the stereotypes, and so, yeah, a lot of the characters stems from our own experiences, but a lot of it is just from other men that I know, things that I've seen, and you create stories around it, and then you have Johnson.
Why did you name it the Johnsons? Yeah, why did you name it that?
Yeah, because Johnson is the most common African American last name in the U.S. You know, so if you have four best friends and there's no relation, how do you tie them together? How do you symbolically say that all four of these guys have the same sort of journey? They may have different perspectives on life. They may have different experiences, but they're all tied together based on who they are. And that's something that you just don't get away from, you know, in America. So we all share that, and so the tie-in for all four of them was having the same last name, Johnson, no relation.
That's good. Come on, Thomas. Let's talk about it, man. Your transition from being an NFL star. Listen, I want to salute you. I watched you play at a high level for a long time, man. So I just want to salute you, man. And yeah, you took care of that little light work. But you on to your next thing. Talk a little bit about how football, that grit, that resilience from your football career, what you bring to this character as being Omar.
Yeah, football definitely prepped me for this, not just this character, but for this business. Hollywood is a very competitive business. It's hard. There's a lot of really talented people out here, and there's a minimal amount of opportunities. So we're all fighting, for the same opportunities sometimes, which is one of the reasons why, I teamed up with Deji, LaRay in 2017 and created our own production company, Midnight Train Productions, and that's the production company that produces Johnson, as well as Cedric Entertainers Company and Bird Bear Entertainment. They're one of our partners. But just being in the NFL for so long, you develop certain type of personality flaws, which are being a little bit aggressive sometimes, being a little bit abrasive sometimes. And so we see a lot of that in Omar's character. And even if he doesn't intend to be that way, it comes across that way. And so, you get a chance to see Omar really kind of evolve and understand, accountability on his behalf, kind of accept his flaws, figure out a way to resolve those issues, whether it's through self-reflection, whether it's through therapy, whether it's just through, just soul searching. And I think that's important to show, Black men doing that, because a lot of Black men actually have that experience in real life, and it's just not publicized as much as it should be.
Why is that? Yeah, stay right there for a second. I want to hear both of y'all feedback on that. Why? Because I agree with you wholeheartedly. This is the first real men show I probably watched, and I'm like, why are we not seeing that more from Hollywood?
Because it's not, you can't monetize off of it. I mean, at the end of the day, the highest suicide rates, percentage wise, Black men. A lot of times our voices are minimized, or they're only heard in a one-dimensional way. Usually it's negative. Whether it's, how the media portrays us, whether it's what they show on social media. Most of the narratives around Black men are not the positive narratives. We're three Black men right now having a positive conversation, a healthy conversation. And that's the majority of us on a day-to-day basis, but unfortunately, that's a narrative that isn't highlighted and it's not rewarded, which is why a show like Johnson, you haven't really seen before on TV, because the majority of people that create content, they don't think to create something like this because they know most of the time this is probably not going to get greenlit. So we're very appreciative to Bounce TV and Scripps, for allowing us to make this show and allowing us to tell the story authentically from these four Black men's perspective.
Deji, how did you balance the humor and the serious topics in this show without losing like the cultural authenticity of the show? Because I think you did a very good job of doing that.
Thank you for that question, man. I think and that compliment too, because people ask, what the genre of this show is, and it's a hilarious show. I think season 4 actually is one of the funniest seasons. You know what I mean? I think all the characters have arrived to a place of confidence. They all have flaws that they've worked to overcome, but they have new flaws that we're also introducing. And it's hilarious. It's a hilarious season, but it's also dramatic at the same time. And so I say that this show is a reflection of real life. And if you just follow the formula of real life where, something, you can be going through something, you can be going through something emotional, you can be going through something serious, a trying time, and then somebody just cracks a joke and everybody starts laughing, right? You don't have to separate the drama and the comedy. If you have it reflect and pattern after real life, something could be serious and people laugh in that moment. And so as long as we remember that and just stay true to the words on the page, and then also too, giving each character a different voice, right? Because if Omar is going through something, Jarvis might see it a different way, and his perspective might be a lot more lighthearted, or it might be hilarious, and it might break the ice or the tension in the room, or everybody might look at him crazy, or Keith look at him crazy. Why would you say something at this time about that? He's probably the character known the most for saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. You know what I mean? And so I think that's it, man. It's just, you know, tackling controversial topics, but being open enough to find the humor in these controversial situations and serious topics. And it creates a good balance.
How hard was that for you though, as a creator and a writer, to bring that to life the way you did?
You know what? I would say it wasn't terribly difficult. I think ultimately, as we began to shoot episodes and I began to learn each of the actors' voice, it became even easier because I write for these characters now. So I know how Derek's Brady is in real life, right? I know his mannerisms. I know how he speaks. I know how Philip is in real life. And so I try to just sort of at least have some of these sort of characteristics that they portray naturally in these characters and just make them funny, and I think it just really helps to where these actors can just show up and be so comfortable with the material on the page. It doesn't feel like, oh, I wouldn't say this because no, you just said it yesterday. I just heard you say it. Now it's in the script. You know what I'm saying? So now that just creates this really comfortable dynamic to where actors can just, we have great chemistry and just have a lot of fun on set. And it really, really, really shows. It really shows.
Yeah, it does show. Let's talk about Faithful for a moment, Thomas. I'm coming to you. So yeah, we I think you did a great job of sharing something personal and dear to you, and just bringing that to life of sometimes church hurt issues that the church don't want to talk about. We want to hide it and act like it didn't happen. No, it happened. It's a real thing, and it's happening still today. Talk about that scene and just you bringing that thing to life.
Yeah, that was a pretty intense scene. And Deji and I, we want to talk about real topics on this show. Like he said, we want to make sure that we're touching on as many topics as possible that we feel Black men, aren't necessarily heard, and that's one of them. And not just necessarily in the church, but just in general. Being taken advantage of as a young Black boy is something that happens every day, and it affects our mental health as we grow, and as we get older, and as we go through life, and it affects our relationships with other people, whoever we interact with. Because if you still have trauma and you still have pain from things you haven't healed from, you're going to take that out on other people. And so that was a very important scene for the show and for Omar's character, to show where some of his aggression came from, some of his abrasiveness came from. It came from hurt. And to be able to express that in front of everyone in the scene, in the church, and to be able to call out the person who did it in his face, was pretty powerful. That scene was a very emotional scene for me, and Deji directed that episode, so it was great that we were able to work together. He directed it flawlessly, and I was able to find just some real moments in my past life, that I was able to tap into and be able to make the scene what it was. But it was a very important scene for the show, and I think it was one of those shows that really proved to viewers that we're really, really serious about giving Black men a voice in pretty much every facet of their lives as we possibly can.
Listen, I thank both of y'all, and when I say we don't talk about mental health enough, especially within our culture, especially as men, because we got the burden of the world on our shoulders. We got to go through everything. We got to make the money. We got to make sure our household is good. So I appreciate y'all sharing that. Do you guys personally, is that something that you guys personally do? Go to therapy or some type of counseling to kind of keep you guys balanced with everything that you guys got to juggle?
Yeah, yes. I mean, you have to talk to someone. I know in the Black community, sometimes the church and the pastor is a therapist, and that's obviously an important way for you to be filled with life and with the spirit, but also too, it helps to be able to unleash some of the trauma and some of the thoughts to someone else, someone that doesn't know you necessarily, someone that has an unbiased opinion of you, someone that's looking, at life from a different lens, so they can give you a different perspective to maybe help you, sort those thoughts out in your mind. So therapy is definitely a big deal on this show. Omar uh, is in therapy, and it helps. And I know in the Black community, sometimes people think therapy is um, it means something besides getting help, but literally it's you taking care of yourself and making sure that you're not overloading yourself with thoughts and trauma and things from the past that you can easily just release if you just take that next step and get therapy.
Deji, man, you put an element in this show that I love. I don't know if you did it on purpose or not, but you got this whole music element that you bring to the show. Talk a little bit about that, and again, why was that so important? And with the whole, some of the club scenes, and just kind of like it just felt real. Like I ain't gonna lie, I felt like, man, why I ain't get that text? I wanted to come kick it with y'all.
No doubt, no doubt, man. We appreciate that, man. I'm gonna keep it real, man. I was a big fan of a show when I was a kid. I was actually on this show as well as an actor, a show called New York Undercover, and very popular show that came on Fox. And I don't think it was every episode, but every few episodes, whenever they wanted to unwind and decompress and sort of grab a drink, they would all meet up at a spot called Natalie's, and it would be a live musical performance. You would see everybody performing on this show. All the hottest acts would perform on this show. People look forward to that. I look forward to that. So we had the opportunity to try to figure out an angle on this show to where the guys could come together, uh, you know, uh, uh, kind of discuss what's going on in their lives and have that moment where they're all together and interacting in this setting. It's like, man, we gotta create that musical element. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta's a big music town. There's a lot of up and coming artists from here that we can, showcase and highlight and cross promote. I'm a huge fan of music. Thomas as well. Thomas, when it comes to music, man, I think Thomas's musical ear is unmatched. This dude will hear a track and be like, "That's a sample from 1978," and he'll know the exact artist. And I don't have that kind of talent. So I think for both of us, man, it's just fun, incorporating music into the show. And this season coming up, we have three musical artists that are performing. We have Savannah Christina, we have T Royale, and we have Bahamian Trey, who's a artist from the Bahamas. Because your boys is jetting out to the Bahamas in season 4. Just know that.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Come on and talk about this whirlwind of relationship issues. I think everybody, all the characters, kind of have with their significant other, or trying to find the woman in their lives. I thought you did a great job of that too as well. But for those who haven't seen it, talk a little bit about how you brought different. Each character has a different dynamic when it talks about their personal relationship, finding their wife or significant other.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the compliments that we get on the show, and I love this compliment because we want to make sure that even though this is a show that's centered around Black men, it's not a biased show at all. The women on this show, beautiful, talented actresses and actors that we have on this show, Kalila Joy, we have Taryn Simmons, we have. Terry J. Vaughn is on the show as well. This season we have Ashley A. Williams. There's a lot of women on this show that just really helps to have that balance when it comes to the relationship topic. We want to hold each other accountable, between the brotherhood, between the four guys, but we also have the women hold us accountable as well, and vice versa. And that's what it's about. It's about just getting to the truth, showcasing these relationships in their different stages. Some may be sort of starting out, trying to find their way. Some relationships have sort of, hit a brick wall, trying to fix it, trying to figure out how to continue forward, such as, Omar and Naomi's relationship. The sort of tribulations that they've had. Um, and so, yeah, that's what it's about, man. It's about sort of representing as many Black men as possible, but also representing as many types of relationships as possible, and being open enough and vulnerable enough with the Black men to understand that we don't have all the answers, and we're all looking. And the Black men and women on this show, they feed off of each other, and I think that's a reflection of real life. Is like just showing how much we need each other. We really push that on the show.
Did it in a great way, and when I tell you it was classy, it's refreshing sometimes to watch something that ain't super ratchet. I'm just being honest, and for those who like that, I'm cool with that. But again, that's why I wanted you to talk about it, because I thought you did a great job of that. So yeah, shouts out to y'all. When it's all said and done, man, what do you want the listeners to take away from when they sit down and watch it? They sit down and watch the Johnsons. I'll let both of you guys give your thoughts.
I would like for them to just see themselves, be able to watch something that makes them feel good, that makes them feel seen, makes them feel heard, Black men and Black women, and even other cultures, because it's a human show. All these situations, all humans go through. This is just specific to our experience as Black men. And, I would love to, for people to leave the show thinking, wow, we all are the same, even though, we come from different cultures and have different circumstances. At the end of the day, we're all human and deserve to be respected and treated the same.
Yeah, I think I want people to be proud of this show, for years to come. I feel like this is our love letter to the culture. This is our love letter to Black women. This is our love letter to Black men. This is our love letter to the culture. This is our love letter to humanity in general. Like Thomas said, the elements on this show um, are universal elements, universal themes that we all go through. We all feel, we all are human. Oftentimes we haven't been portrayed as being human, as Black men in the media. So we want to make sure that we have that voice. But in actuality, we're all the same. And so all of these sort of themes on the show is something that anybody can relate to, regardless of where you come from. And so we just want people to appreciate what we've created, our offering for people to, watch 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and be proud. And hopefully the appreciation will continue to grow in the years to come for this show.
Yeah, listen, y'all got a new super fan over here, so know that I'm pumping y'all out. I'm pumping y'all out and telling people to tune in, because I need about at least 10 seasons of this before y'all wrap it up. So I don't need y'all. Y'all need to stay in shape, and y'all need to keep pushing, man, for real. Come on and tell the people how they can connect with both of you guys. Shout your social media pages out, and of course, tell people where they can go watch the Johnsons.
Yeah, you can follow me on social media, Thomas Q Jones on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And season 4 of Johnson premieres tomorrow night, 8/7 Central PM on Bounce TV. Also, you can catch up to on Johnson seasons 1, 2, and 3 on Hulu. They're streaming now, so get caught up before you tune in tomorrow night, 8/7 Central on Bounce TV for Johnson season 4.
And my social platforms are just all my name, Deji LaRay. And just a thank you to everybody who has watched the show, who has told somebody about the show. Even if you haven't seen the show and you're interested, like Thomas said, you can stream all 3 seasons currently on Hulu, and reach out to us, because we are very active online. We love hearing how you feel about the show. We talk back, we engage back, because if you love the show, we feel a personal connection, and we truly appreciate. We're very appreciative of any support that we get for this show, and the support has been incredible and overwhelming at times. So thank you.
Absolutely, and shouts out if y'all need somebody to sit in for a second, man. I'm gonna pull up on y'all, man. Just call me, bro. Just call me.
Okay, for sure. We got you.
We might need it. We might need a DJ season 5, man. We'll keep the call.
That's say less. Listen, I'm your man. Sign me up. I can do that. All you want me to do is play music, mix and scratch. Come on, listen. I don't do too much of acting, but that ain't acting. That's real. That's a gift. Hey, we going to a break. We'll be back with more. Keep it locked. You're tuned into The Fixx. You know The Fixx is in.